I'm gonna shoot a quick update here for today. Um, I got lots of work done on this weekend. It's probably the most productive weekend I've had so far on this trailer. Um, a friendly neighbor came by to do the lino floor in the back, so it's finished, and you can tell that there were 30 years of laying floor for a living at work here. There is a seam in here, you can't even tell where it is. You'd really have to go down on your knees and look for it to actually see it. The job took a little bit longer than I had anticipated. Given that my neighbor was a professional, he insisted on actually floating this floor prior to laying down the lino, and it was essentially all afternoon and a few beers to get it done. We did it. I guess we did it right here. We actually lifted the walls, put the walls aside, and slipped the lino right underneath the wall, the way it was originally done by the manufacturer. So I'm thinking this is a pretty good job, and I like the color. It's gonna go really well with the wall panels that are going to go in here. Moreover, I got most of this wall done. So there was a bad spot right here. So you can see there is a new 2x4 all the way in, all the way fastened with screws. I applied new butyl tape between the wood and the metal fender well. So all of that is done. I replaced all the pieces of wood that were rotten. Some of them were just discolored, so they had seen water and a little bit of corrosion from screws which discolored it. But otherwise it was clean wood inside. There was no rot. So up there, this was an existing transition right here, and I just cut the bad piece of wood out and replaced it with a new piece. This wall was a little bit of work, and not just because of the framing, but you can see this bundle of wires here. Well, the rotten spot was right where all the wires went through. So the wires come down through those holes in at the top there. They come down from the roof, and then they go sideways into this section, and then down, 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 and then through here. You can see where it labeled the holes where each wire has to go through, and then they went down in behind here and through a hole. And when you're dealing with wiring like that, you have to decide whether it's worthwhile going all the way back to the source of the wire to disconnect it and then pull it out and work the system from there, or whether it is actually a good thing to cut the wires. Now for the 120 volt system here, you can see those are the big household current wires. I actually went right down to the breaker panel, disconnected them, labeled them, pulled them out. I'm just not comfortable splicing 120 volt wire in an area that could potentially see some moisture. So splicing isn't good in general, and in this case I decided to pull the wire out. So it added about an hour of work to this job to get to the source of the wire, get to where they end it, and disconnect everything and pull it out. You can see that there's another bundle of wires here, and that's this bunch of wires here, and those are just 12-volt wires. They're all 12-volt wires. They're for a variety of things, lighting. They go up to the monitor panel there, come up behind the ceiling panels, and then they come down. In this case, I decided to cut the wire, label everything, and I'm gonna splice them back together when all of this job is done. So they're all labeled, and there's an according bundle of wires up top there. So with the 12-volt wire, I don't think it's such a big deal to cut it, because it's a multi-strand wire, right, with many little leads in it, and this is fairly easy to splice using solder, and you can make a very nice watertight, almost good as new or better than new connection using shrink tubing and solder. This is going to be watertight and very strong, so I don't think cutting these 12-volt wires is such a big deal. So that's why I decided to cut them. So yeah, this section of wall is essentially taken care of. I got the piece of plywood out that was up there. It was partly rotten, so probably next week I'm going to be able to take care of the roof. There are 4 roof trusses that are probably worthwhile replacing, and that's what I'm going to do. I haven't dealt with the other side yet, but the other side was nowhere near as bad as this one, and I won't have to deal with as many wires. Next point. I had the rot in the front corner here. So you can see I was very generous in cutting a piece of the wall out. There it is, piece of wall, paneling and all. I'm not very concerned about it because, as you can see, this part is actually in my bathroom under the vanity. So it's out of view completely. So I will end up splicing in a new piece of wall here. Or actually, I'm probably going to use this old piece and then adapt it to fit back in here and work out okay. Nobody will ever see it. You won't be able to see it from the inside of the trailer. So I had a look at this. You can see that the insulation that was in here held a lot of moisture. It corroded the metal membrane quite a bit, and however, the extent of the rot wasn't quite as bad as it could have been. You can see this main piece of frame here. Well, it's discolored from water and dirt, but inside it's actually pretty good, except for this little top piece. However, the way I'm going to splice it, I'm going to take half and then laminate a new piece right on top of here. So this is all going to disappear. You can see the floor. I actually cut a line through to the end here. However, there is a screw which I can't get out. You can see the little dark spot. So I had to cut it again here to get at least most of the floor out. And then I'll hopefully be able to get the sawzall down into that, in behind the wood or in between the 2x2 and the plywood and actually cut that screw off. It's just a little bit rusted, so and stripped, so I can't spin it out. So the back end of the floor, you can see it's all good. So that's essentially the rotten problem. The rotten section is just really this corner here, and then it stops. Good. So I will be able to take care of that. It's a little bit more difficult than the back end of the trailer to cut this, because you can't take the front wall off. It's kind of sandwiched in between, well, the frame right there and the rest of the trailer. So yeah, not as easy to work with here. However, doable. We'll be able to do it. Just going to take a little bit more time. One thing I noticed, and I don't really understand why, this back section here, you know, inward from the 2x2 and underneath that floor, there was no insulation. And I don't know whether that is meant to be or was forgotten, or I just don't know. I'm going to have to make a phone call and find out. In any case, this metal membrane up front here has quite a few pinholes in it, so since there was no insulation in there, that actually probably prevented more damage further into the floor, simply because the insulation holds the water, and then the moisture can attack the floor or any other wood. So with there being no insulation, water was able to drain quickly, and there was always a little bit of draft through here, so it dried up, and well, no issue. So I'm gonna have to find out whether this really meant to be, or whether this was just an oversight of some sort. I am going to try to replace much of this, of at least the front part of this, of the steel underneath here, because there are just quite a few pinholes in there, and I just want to take care of it. I also know now where my mice are coming through. They must be coming through somewhere here and then go through an opening in the floor and then into the trailer. I'm gonna have to find exactly where they're coming in. There was always an issue with mice in this section of the trailer down where the furnaces and the electrical panel. That's where I thought they were coming in, somewhere through the electrical openings or the furnace. However, now I believe that they're actually coming through this tunnel. And I'm going to have to find out exactly where the entry point is. So anyway, I'm going to continue working on this, and maybe with the next update I'm going to have this done. Once this is done, that leaves essentially only the front, but for that I'm going to need a few more parts. I found a source for this particular siding, which I'm also going to replace here. But I'm going to have to make a little bit of a road trip in order to get it. Just shipping it would be much too expensive because they're large pieces. So anyway, thanks for watching this update, and I'll get back soon. Thanks.